You think that we've covered everything from the last episode, but we haven't even scratched the surface. There's
We
so
have not.
many topics to cover, and y'all are in for a treat.
You're not in the position to actually compare things. Your first box that you get is as important as the very last box that you get.
A dish is not guilty until proven innocent. A dish starts off perfect.
I'm going to say this, though. This is what pisses me off. I want people to really pay attention to this.
This is probably one of the most controversial topics that we'll cover when it comes to this. And I wasn't even expecting to take this conversation here. This is a perfect segue to something that I've been wanting to touch on.
Oh?
This is very important. This is one of the most important things that you can hear as a judge. Are you ready?
We're ready.
Hello and welcome to Stirring the Pot podcast, a podcast all about discussing controversial food subjects, historical aspects of food, and pretty much everything else food and cooking related. To get things started, let me introduce my co-hosts. First up, we have Mr. Barbecue Brand, our resident pitmaster and a past guest on Food Network's Barbecue USA. Welcome, Barbecue Brand.
What's cooking, everybody? It's your favorite pitmaster's favorite pitmaster. Let's go.
Second up, we have Mr. Brandon D., a connoisseur of Louisiana and Southern cuisine, champion crawfish boiler, and a self-proclaimed food science nerd. Welcome, Brandon D.
What's up, everybody? Hope everybody's having a good morning, night, whatever time you're watching this. Let's get this kicked off.
I am KCP, your host and cookie queen. Welcome, everyone, and Happy New Year. We are all so excited to be back in the saddle, and we are geared up for another great year of many controversial subjects. But first, tonight, we want to start the year off by continuing probably our most controversial episode last year, and that's surrounding competition judging. How y'all doing tonight, guys?
Good. We're at it again on this judging thing. Oh, there's so much to say on this. I mean,
so much
to say. There's a lot going on with competition judging. It's man. You've been in this game long enough. You've seen some stuff, guys. It's stuff that's confusing, doesn't make any sense, ridiculous.
A lot of crazy stuff. A lot of controversial things.
You think that we've covered everything from the last episode, but we haven't even scratched the surface. There's so many topics to cover, and y'all are in for a treat.
Definitely want to first start off by saying thank you guys for watching that last episode that we did on judging. We got so much feedback from that episode, so we just want to keep the rhythm going, keep that momentum going, and we will not disappoint you tonight. So let's start things off by talking about judging expectation. Pretty much, let's jump off with judging everything for what it is that you're judging and not comparing it to other things.
And also, do not expect something better to come along. If it's good, if the first thing you taste is perfect and it's a 10, well, it's going to have to be a 10. I mean, you can't expect, this is a random thing. These boxes are given, they're put in there randomly, so you can't expect the next thing to be better than what you're having right in front of your plate, in front of you right now. That's a huge mistake. So just because somebody's first, they automatically get a, hit. Well, it's the first thing, I can't judge at a 10. Well, maybe you can. And we just hate to break it to you. It's all going to be hard. It's not going to be easy for any of this stuff.
No.
So it's not going to be easy at all. So don't expect this to be easy. Don't expect to be the winner to be clear. Just clear my mind of other dishes, right? Just try to wipe your mind of that. The next dish is you have to judge everything for what it is and everything for what's in front of you. And you're judging it against just cooking standards. Is this cooked right? Is this correct? Not whether, oh man, well the next thing I could have could be really good. Well, the next thing you can have can be terrible too. So,
Yeah, that's a really good point. That's the thing. This is where y'all get in trouble. Y'all get in trouble because y'all sit down and you're like, okay, I got to do a good job. I got to do a good job by everybody. And we're going to talk about this later. I'm not even going to touch this right now, but y'all stay tuned for that. But just like Brandon D said, judge it for what it is. If your first box comes to you and if it's perfect to you, if it tastes right, if it's executed perfectly, then it's a 10. It doesn't matter what you're about to get. You cannot think about that. Judge it for what it is.
Yeah,
correct.
There aren't like so many 10s. You're only good. It's not like they're gonna tell you, oh, you can only have 3 10s. This entire panel. That's it. No, that doesn't exist. Judge it for what it is. If it's a 10, it's a 10. Moving on. Like don't say, oh well, this could be a 10, but what if the next thing is like a 10 as well? Well, then it's a 10 too.
They could be all 10s, but I'm gonna tell you, they're not.
They're not.
They're not.
In a perfect world, everything would be a 10, right?
Something gets overcooked, something, doesn't cook enough, they lose gas for 20 minutes or, there's all kinds of things that can happen. There's all kinds of things that'll happen with this. So you just have to look at it, they're not all going to be 10s. They're not all going to be 10s. But if the first thing you think is a 10, you should definitely score it a 10. That might be the only 10 you get.
Mm-hmm. Maybe so.
Maybe.
What if
maybe
it is?
Not.
Maybe not.
But you can't compare things, right? You're not in the position to actually compare things. So your first box that you get is as important as the very last box that you get. So
Absolutely.
You have to judge every single box, every single entry exactly the same. Not say, oh, okay, well, the first one was maybe not as good as this one. You can't do that. Judge it for what it is. Judge it for what's in front of you. Everything is an individual thing that you're judging, not as a whole. So Barbecue Brand has judged an actual barbecue contest before, and you sat on a final table, right? Where you actually have to compare the boxes, which is a totally different scenario than normal judging, right?
Yes, it is. So here's the thing is this particular competition or this league is a double blind. So you have your preliminary table where you get scores and then the highest, however many scores from each table, let's say 5, right? 5 to 7. Let's say you have 3 tables. The highest 5 to 7 boxes from each table gets moved to final table, which is what's called a double blind. So I was sitting on the final table and we judged that separately from the first table. So now you have the best of the best. But the problem comes when, and this is a whole nother subject, with the scoring system, sometimes you have ties. So if you have a tie on the secondary table, on the final table, then you have to compare the two to figure out which one is better.
Yeah.
That's a different mindset than sitting down at a single blind and saying, okay, I have this dish in front of me. I'm going to judge this for what it is. I don't care what I'm about to get. I don't care what I got. I care about what I have in front of me. And I'm going to judge this based on the criteria that was given to me. What does it smell like? What does it look like? What does it taste like? You're looking at that dish for that dish. So you have to put everything else out of your mind. That's why this is so hard, because your natural self wants to compare, but you can't. You have to look at this for what it is. If it's perfect, it's perfect. If it has flaws, it has flaws. It doesn't matter what came before or after.
Sometimes with a 10-point scale, there's not a real lot of granularity in that. It's maybe a little bit too coarse, for judging food. And that brings us into, is a 10-point scale the best thing? When you're talking food and you're talking 9s and 10s, there's a big difference between a 9 and a 10. The effort it takes to go from 9 to 10 is not what it takes to go from 5 to 9. It's more effort. It takes a lot more effort for the smallest is like the last mile thing. The last mile is always going to be the hardest one to complete. And that final 1 point, that final 10% on a dish is really difficult. There's a difference between a 90 and a 95. If you're talking on a 100-point scale, there's a difference between 90 and 95. And that 95 to 100, that's a mile. You took tests in school. When you pulled a 90 and if you pulled 100, you did a lot different on that 100 point that when you got 100 on a test.
Yeah,
when
and let's reiterate too, because we've talked about this. We're not talking about going up, and Brandon D is talking very specific about what it takes for a dish to go from this to this, right? But we've said this before. A dish is not guilty until proven innocent. A dish starts off perfect.
Exactly.
When that box sits in front of you, and it's not open yet, that box is perfect.
10.
Right.
It's a perfect 10 until you open it.
Exactly.
And then you judge by all criteria and you come down. Yeah. And you don't go down, exponentially. You go down by minutia.
Right. So, small things.
If at all. I'm not saying go down. I'm saying if you're going down by small increments.
Right.
But that dish is perfect until you find flaws. If you do not find flaws based on the criteria by proper judging, then leave it alone. It's a 10.
Yeah. And like low scores below 7 are really rated for things technically very wrong. Improper cooking, like let's say you made a pasta dish and the pasta is just woefully undercooked. That's a big flaw. Rice, you taste the jambalaya and the rice is crunchy. You'll be forgiven more for rice that's slightly mushy than rice that's crunchy. Nobody likes crunchy rice.
That's a fact.
That's a big flaw. I mean, that's a couple points off. You know, you have to knock it down pretty hard because that's a big thing. Jambalaya, the dish is all about rice.
It is.
It's nothing more than rice. So if a dish is all about rice, when the main component is messed up, you got a problem.
Yeah.
So a rice dish, a pasta dish, if you mess up that key portion, the rice or the pasta, you're in trouble.
That's a major technical flaw.
Major.
Yes.
Which brings up a very interesting point. So if rice is a major part of your dish, right? Like jambalaya, what about when you have a competition that's anything over rice? At that point, it's not about the rice, even though it's anything over rice. And we have discussed this before, that we think that rice should not be provided by the cook teams, that the rice should be provided by the judging panel, right? Because that's not what you're actually judging. You're judging what goes on the rice. And me and Barbecue Brand had this issue when we judged in Henderson last year in September. It was, what was it? Brown gravy. It honestly haunts my dreams.
Glad I missed that one. Sorry. Not interested.
Brown gravy. And that's all we had. There was no rice, which in a sense was a good thing with over 40 teams and only 6 judges, which was a beautiful thing. But it's important that is also part of the dish, right? Because you're not going to just eat gravy. Because that rice blunts that saltiness, right? Gravy's really intense. It's supposed to be. I mean, that's like 1 spoon of a gravy like covers like a bunch of rice. So gravy is always pretty intense, especially when we're talking about rice and gravy, the Louisiana Southern rice and gravy. That's what we're talking about, right? Mm-hmm. So that's a really intense thing because it's meant to serve over a starch, and a starch really absorbs a lot of salt. So, in order for this to balance out, you have to make your gravy a little bit maybe saltier than you would expect to something like, say, that didn't serve with a starch. You'd be a little bit saltier. So it's all in balance. So, the rice should be provided by the judges, though. The judges should have their own rice. That way everybody's being judged off the same rice. The same thing, because that's not what you're judging. Mm-hmm. You're judging what's over the rice. So
that's right.
Yeah, I thought that was a very interesting point when we talked about that at another time. But it makes a lot of sense. So jambalaya is the base of the dish.
Correct.
But something over rice is not.
So I feel like that's a really good point. I feel like the rice should be a non-variable.
Yeah.
That shouldn't be a thing.
If you're judging on texture, it could change the texture of your gumbo. And that's a big thing. That's always a part of the judging criteria is texture, right?
Yeah, absolutely. No matter what you're cooking, texture is always in there.
I'm going to say this though, and but we're talking about texture. This is what pisses me off. I'm sorry, but when it comes to barbecue or anything else, I want people to really pay attention to this. Cooking meat into mush does not take any type of significant skill. Everybody, I want y'all to understand this.
Mushy meat. What?
Cooking meat into mush is not skill. That's just time. And the more you cook your meat into mush, the more you have extracted the flavor out of your meat.
Man, who did that?
I'm just saying, I've tasted some stuff where I'm saying, y'all know.
Some people.
Cooking things, something being more tender than something else does not mean that it's technically correct over the other thing. If something is more tender does not mean better. That's what I'm saying. Just because something's more tender, that's not more skill. That just means you just left it in longer.
Hey, that's not tender.
But the more, but
that's tender.
Tender, yeah. The more flavors extracted. Yeah. The more you cook it, the more flavor is going to be lost to the meat. The flavor is going to go out of the meat the more tender it is. So, if you're judging, and that's the thing with barbecue competition I don't like. They tend to rate thing being really tender and mushy as the highest form of barbecue, where I don't think that's necessarily true. Barbecue is about somebody taking something that's really simple and tough and turning it into something that's really outstanding. And the magic of barbecue is the process that happens and the result. And the fact that you took something very humble and turned it into something outstanding using some simple techniques, some simple seasonings, and you get something it's like a magical process, man. You take this brisket that is tough, that really is, the only way you can cook brisket is really by, braising it or barbecuing it to get it to a tender. You put it through this process. The thing looks like a lump of coal when you take it out, but you slice it open. And man, it's you got this magical bark and this texture and this flavor, and it's an amazing process. And I think we're kind of losing that, and I think we're losing the judging is expecting like this super tender game, like it's falling apart. Like, okay, congratulations, it fell apart. Like, what is that? What does that show?
I definitely want to put in a little insert of Barbecue Brand's brisket from his last competition in New Caney, because that was a work of art, I have to say. That smoke ring looked like it was painted on. It was so beautiful. So definitely add that in.
Oh yeah, no, that those slices really came out nice, man. They really did.
Look,
and
you can put it right here. See? You can put it right over my head.
Those slices came out super nice, man. That was a really good looking brisket. It really was. I mean,
it was beautiful.
You can't say anything more. It was a really good, and it tasted. The flavor was there. The flavor, as looks, it was great. Texture, it was great. The flavor was really there. It was really balanced. I thought it was outstanding. And and like I know those competitions, those guys do a great job. It's a very tough competition, super tight point spread. I mean, between first and I don't know, probably 30th place is probably maybe 6-7 points from perfect.
Yeah.
I mean, like first is first might be like it might be like a 199.5, and 15th might be like a 196. It's a tough competition, man. It really is.
Yeah.
Tight, very, very tight.
Most definitely. So that's one of the things that even transcends barbecue, just cooking in general. When we talk about cook teams, man, y'all go out and have fun. Go out and have fun and balance your flavors. Just go out there, and that's what I think. Even if you're an untrained judge, if you don't know everything that goes into judging, obviously listen to us. We'll let you know exactly what you need to do. But if you're not a trained judge, what that judge wants is they want some balanced flavors. Now, obviously, if you're not trained, what's going to happen is that you're going to have preference that takes over. But that's what we're here to do, is to take that away, take the preference away, and to put in a good process for you to be able to judge fairly across the board, right? But if you're a cook team, go out there and trust the process. Trust the process of judges. We're gonna get them there. And you go out and you balance your flavors. You make good food and you balance your flavors. You make sure that your stuff isn't too salty. You make sure it isn't too sweet. You make sure that it isn't too hot. It isn't too over the top. That it's really, really good food that you could feed the masses. And it's that much better than everyone else. If you focusing on those things, you're gonna do great. And that's part of that cook team process, that cook team responsibility that we were talking about in the last episode.
Oh yeah,
details matter, guys. Details matter. That's gonna be what separates the top from the from the mid range.
So I will use this example, in that discussion. The details matter. When beginning of this year, Barbecue Brand and I judged a chili cook-off in Bruce-Lee, Louisiana. And let me tell you, shout out to our friend Bear the Voice, because his chili won and it was absolutely fantastic. He showed us after the competition how detailed he made his chili. Like, he took the chilies, he just made everything with so much love, and it mattered. That chili was phenomenal. So
I tell you,
shout out to you, Bear. We love you. Congratulations.
Hey man, look, Texas had to show up and take that one. But look, that's the thing about the details matter, guys. I'll tell you what, the way to up your chili game. Chili powder is not all chili powder is created equal. And then people who make great chili do not use chili powder, the chili powder you buy in the little jar that says chili powder, and don't use that. They use specific chili powders: guajillo, pasilla, ancho. Those are specific chili powders that they balance out in their dish to get the flavor right.
That's true. Which brings an interesting point too. For these cook teams, not only have fun, like Barbecue Brand says, but definitely research your demographic for what you're cooking, right? So that's what Bear did. He cooked a traditional Texas style chili, right?
No beans?
No, it didn't have any beans. I don't think so. It was delicious, but researching your dish, if you're doing, so there's different types of jambalaya, obviously different types of etouffee, different types of gumbo. So doing a little bit of research before going into these competitions is pretty vital to, you having a little leg up on the competition, right? So if you go to, let's say, Gonzales, that is a very specific type of jambalaya that they make in that area. So they'll be expecting that kind of jambalaya, right? You go to St. Landry Parish, make a jambalaya up there, that's going to be a totally different thing. The same thing, it could be applied to pretty much any kind of dish around Louisiana or Texas. We'll bring some love to the Texas folk, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's very important too.
Right, right. And doing your research, when people think chili, like Texas chili, you think ground meat. When you think Texas chili, the original stuff, it looks more like beef stew than what you think of as chili.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It looks like chunks of meat cooked in a gravy, and that's functionally what it is. There's no tomatoes. And if we're talking original style Texas chili, like the original version, the authentic, let's say not the authentic version, but the origin of chili is just, there's no tomatoes in it. It's just chili powder and beef and onion. That's it.
Yeah.
So and that's salt and pepper.
And that's what Bear said. Bear was he's like, I'm taking a risk, but I'm going to make a traditional style chili. I'm not using chili powder out of the store. I think he said he used 100 and something not different types, but 100 and something chilies.
Yeah,
I think it was 3 or 4 different types of chilies that he just.
Oh, he did. Yeah,
and I tell you, whenever we tasted that chili, it was head and shoulders above anything else.
Oh,
it was just you tasted it and you were like, okay, I don't know what else I just had, which you're not supposed to, you're not supposed to compare. But at the same time, it was like this.
Whoa.
Whatever I thought chili was, or whatever I thought chili might or is supposed to be, this is it. This is what chili is. and it was incredible. I wanted to eat more. So that's one thing that you can think about as a judge too. If you're ever judging and you take a bite of something, you can think about it as, man, do I want to eat more of this?
Very
just breaking
important.
it down that simple.
Yeah.
And that particular, just using that as an example, that bowl of chili, I was like, I did not want to give that up. Every other bowl of chili I had, there was probably maybe 2 more that I was like, oh, I'll take another bite of this. This is not bad. This is good. This is decent. That chili right there, I could have smashed the whole bowl.
Oh, yeah.
And asked for more. I was like, okay. As soon as I put it to the side, I was like, dang, do not throw that away. I need to save that. I need to eat some more of that right there.
It was really good.
That's a 10.
It was really good.
Yeah. See, that's how you know it's a detail thing, because he's choosing the peppers that he wants to use, the dried peppers, and choosing the flavor profile that he wants to generate from those peppers. I mean, it's they taste very different. An ancho tastes a lot different than a chipotle. A pasilla tastes different. A guajillo,
all of that.
Personal favorite,
right?
Tastes a lot different from these other ones.
And he didn't use a single tomato in that chili.
Nope.
You would never know that he didn't use tomato paste or anything like that in there. It was absolutely phenomenal.
Fire.
Yeah.
Fire.
Wow.
And see, that's what you have to do is sometimes you want to, and I get it because I do this a lot too. You want to really adhere to what you think the judges want, but sometimes you really have to just stay very true to the dish that you're making and just make the best dish. This is what we're making. This is how this is supposed to be, and you're gonna learn today. We've done that plenty of times.
Yeah, exactly. Look, this is when I come to a competition, I am for the judges. I'm not cooking what you want. I'm cooking what I want you to taste. That's what I'm cooking.
Yep, and that rings true in Pit versus Pot this year.
Green curry.
Yeah, what we cooked, but what actually won was a dessert. That's a big risk. Tiggs was just talking about that earlier this week. He recapped that, and that's Mr. Heath's wife. They won first place and grand champion with a dessert. It was
good.
Was delicious.
It was bomb.
And that was the thing. They stuck to what they wanted to cook. They didn't give the judges what the judges were expecting. At this point, that Pit versus Pot was pretty much a crapshoot. You could have cooked anything.
Oh yeah, you could have done anything. We like you said, we did green curry, like Thai green curry. I just threw it out there. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna make green curry because I know a lot of people haven't had this. Yeah. So let's try it.
And that's the thing.
One of my favorite dishes.
Yeah, we what we set out to accomplish with that dish, we accomplished.
Then somebody else made
stuff, and people had never tried it, and that's what we wanted to just expand people's palate on things.
Somebody made baked beans with peaches.
That was also delicious.
That was good. Yeah, I wouldn't have thought. It was like, well, I mean,
that was the hot sauce company.
Yeah,
it was the hot sauce company that did that. Yeah,
I know my rule. Tastes good is good. I mean, there's nothing more to say about that. Tastes good is good.
Now, don't get us wrong, y'all. I understand that there's different. It depends on what your goals are, right?
Right.
Our goal. We have a different flair. We have different goals that we are setting out to do. We are trying to educate everyone on food. So every time that we go to a competition, is not just a win. Or that's not the number one goal all the time. We want to, obviously, everybody wants to win. But for just like Brandon D said, this particular time, we wanted to say, look, y'all haven't had this before and y'all don't know what this is. You think you know, but you don't. And you think you don't like it, but you do. How many people did we have taste that green curry and was like, oh, I don't like curry. They don't even know the differences between curries. And they had that and they were like, this is some of the best stuff I've ever had in my life.
Yeah,
I had one lady. I had one lady. I had to convince her to try this. I'm like, so you just got to try it. She came back for seconds, and then she came back at the end to tell me that's the best thing she had today. That was her favorite thing of the day. That's the goal.
That's winning.
To show people. That's to show people. That you have to be open to trying new flavors, and not everything is what you expect. Curry is there's there's Thai curries, there's Indian curries, there's Malaysian curries, there's Vietnamese curries, there's Caribbean curries, all very different.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So curry basically means a meat with a sauce served over rice. Or sometimes it's a vegetable too. So it's some type of sauce, slow cooked sauce served over rice.
It was
with a bunch of spices.
It was good.
Yeah, you go to somebody from a different country and you tell them, "Hey, make me some gravy and some rice and gravy." And then they're like, "What do you mean?" And then you explain to them what your version of rice and gravy is, and then they say, "Oh, okay, we do that all the time." And then they're going to make you their version of rice and gravy. In this particular instance, it would be curry.
Yeah,
correct.
Right. So it depends on where you're from.
Of rice and gravy. Yeah,
don't be afraid of it. It's just their version of it. It's their spices. It's their flavors. That's all.
Right.
But once again, it tastes good. It is good. Just be open, and that's what you have to be as a judge.
So here's the thing too, and I want to kind of like reel things into, because I know we're throwing a lot at y'all right now, but what we're trying to say with this is that if you're throwing a competition, if you're giving a competition and it's open, or if it's anything over rice,
expect anything.
You have to expect anything, and you have to let your judges know that they're gonna get certain things. You're gonna have cooks that have a little bit, the talent is gonna vary. I'm trying to say this in a PC way. The talent is gonna vary across your cooks, and they may give you something that you're not expecting. So you need to be able to cook freely, but at the same time, if you're throwing a competition like this, you need to let people know that, hey, you might need to describe your dish.
Very important.
Exactly.
That's another big point that we have not driven home yet, is that sometimes dishes need to be described.
Correct.
Because if we're giving you green curry, or if we're giving you something from a different country, a different type of variation of food, this could be anything. It's completely open. So how do I expect you, if you're judging a contest, how do I expect you just to judge this freely and judge this fairly if your palate isn't open to this? Someone needs to tell you that you need to open your palate, or it needs to be described to you in a way that will open your mind to what you're about to taste. Expectations have to be there for judges.
They have to.
Yeah,
and
they have to.
Here's a very, very important point that goes along with that. If you're having an open competition, right, and you're going to have these cook teams describe what their dish is, their dish has to have a name going to the judges, right? If it's open, it has to do that. But here's what's most important about that. Judges cannot, and I repeat, cannot mingle within the cook area before they judge.
No.
Because that's giving a disadvantage to those teams. Those judges will see or smell or something what they're cooking, and then automatically you're going to have a palate bias because you're seeing or all these different things. It's very important. And when we judged the chili cook-off, it was very important that we went straight to the judging area. Even though it was a bunch of our friends cooking, we respected them all enough to go, and we were there for a job first and foremost. And then after we judged, then we could go mingle. And even Bear said that, I knew that y'all were going to judge this stuff correctly because you took your job seriously. You went, you did your job, then you came and hung out with us afterwards. Very important. You have to, you're there for a certain specific reason. You're there to do a job. You were asked to judge because of your culinary expertise on things. You're there to do that. Do that, and then after you're done with your job, then you can do whatever you want, right?
Exactly.
The job is over.
And that's another thing. Get the judging out of the way early. Get it
done.
over with. The first thing the cook should turn in should be the judges, the people afterwards.
Yeah.
That de-stresses the whole event.
It really does.
It really does. Because, Pit versus Pot, I bring that up. That was really one of the best run competitions I've seen. That's the first thing we did. We turned in our food, done. Like, everybody turned and went to judges. The judges were done in a pretty reasonable amount of time. Everybody came and hang out, and we had a blast.
It was fun. And that's the thing.
I mean, that's the thing. We got to mingle with the people and my friends, and taste everybody's food and
Right.
see what everybody's up with and all their new products. And it was just a lot of fun.
Everyone is there. You're there for a competition. Whether you're a cook or you're a judge, you're there to do a job. And then after that job is done, then it's time for fun. There's always time for fun, right? But get it out the way.
And I want to commend some of these judges, especially some of because the last episode we went kind of hard on some of the celebrity judges here.
Yes.
But I do want to commend some of y'all because I've seen y'all do the same thing. Amber Nicole, KP.
Yes.
I've seen them judge competitions and they'll come by and everybody wants to talk to them. Everybody wants to hug them. Everybody wants to talk to them, bring them over to the spot. And I've seen them do it. I've seen them just say, hey, I promise you I'm coming to talk to you, but I'm judging. I can't see what you cooking. I can't have nothing that you got. Let me go judge and I'm going to come back. I've seen them do it and I commend them for that. Yeah. And they do. And they come back by and you can get your pictures and you can get your hugs and all of that stuff. You can talk about all of the things, whatever. But yes, that's so important for you to take care of your job first. And it's hard. Because when we got there for that chili cook-off, we seen Rachel, we seen Bear. It was like, man, we just want to go over there and talk to him, hang out.
Yeah.
Look, let us go judge. We're going to come back. We got y'all. Oh, we're sitting at the table. We're sitting at the judge's table. Man, I hope my friends win. You know, that's a little biased. Oh, that's my friends. I hope they win. But even more so, that's why you shouldn't go talk to them and have anything that they got going on. Because I do want my friends to win. But I want to give them a fair chance. I gotta do this fair. So let me go judge. Let me go do my job, and then I'm gonna come back, talk to you, and I hope you win. Right. You know,
it's all about who executes. Who executed. The execution is key.
Another point, I want to say this. So everyone that watched our first episode and used that as a guide to help them judge better, I commend you too.
Yep.
Because we're all here to improve ourselves, right?
Yes, absolutely.
So anything that we can do to help, just to bring awareness to, processes and procedures and all these things, we're here to help. And I definitely want to thank everyone for, just absorbing some of the information that we're spitting out at y'all and just kind of maybe thinking about things a little bit differently. So yes, thanks to you as well.
Yep, absolutely. So yeah, it's a I tell you, it's just like everybody who judges, it's just not easy.
It's not.
It's
not.
And
guess what? Job. Guess what? It's not even that much fun. It can be very taxing. It can be like, it's like really hard. I'm gonna get to taste all this stuff and buy the 6 bowl of gumbo, 6 sticks of gumbo, you kind of spent. And that's another thing, I judged the gumbo competition. What was that in October? We judged it in October with for SCCA.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so we judged this, and I tasted one thing, and tomatoes in gumbo is controversial, but I tasted this thing, and guys, it tasted good. Yeah. It tasted really good. It was really good. I was like, this is really balanced. This is really flavorful, but this just doesn't strike the chord of gumbo. It's not. It's not what it tasted for me. It tasted like a coubillon, and I was like, this is really good. And I really would eat a whole bowl of this, but this is not ringing gumbo in my head. So make sure what you're cooking as a competition that your judges are able, if you're making gumbo, stick to the traditional thing. This is not the time for your experiments.
We all started cooking by looking at cooking
stick
shows
to the
on
classic way.
Looking at cooking shows on TV. This is one thing that has always rung true in my mind. I always hear it in my mind because you have these celebrity chefs, right? And they're judging dishes. And a lot of times the cooks will come up and they'll just get real creative and they'll put their dishes in front of the celebrity judges. And they're supposed to cook a specific thing. And the judge looks at it and they're picking through it. And I hear this all the time. That celebrity judge will say, don't call that this. If you're making a jambalaya Don't call it a jambalaya because that's not what you gave me. I don't care if it's good. It is good. I like this. This tastes really well. Don't call this a risotto. You didn't make a risotto. Don't call it that. So a great brisket is a terrible chicken. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right?
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
like, okay,
true.
You just brought me something in a competition that tastes amazing, but it ain't nothing. Yeah. It's nothing about what it's supposed to be. So
exactly, 100% right. I mean, it's like you're giving a brisket. You give me a brisket, and you say you have to smoke a brisket for this competition, and you make a burger out of it. You grind it up and make a burger. Is that burger delicious? Probably. Is it right? No,
you failed.
You know, as when I was in school, sometimes it wasn't about your creativity. Sometimes it was about follow the damn instructions. You understand? You know, there's a lot of things that we do. It's like, you know what? I don't get to be creative on this because, like, you know, when I do stuff as working as an engineer, I have to follow a standard. I don't get to invent standards. I follow standards. You know, when I have to do something, well, I say, what does the standard say? That's what I hold. I hold the standard. I don't. So when somebody says make gumbo, make sure you adhere to the standard. What was it? The appetizer? What was the watermelon with crab on it, man?
Something of summer. Summer.
Yeah, it's a pinch of summer.
Pinch of summer. It was so thoughtful that I remember, like barely, but we remember the name of it. Like yeah, it was done so well. You know, it was so good.
It was great. And the thing about it is, it came in second. Even though I loved it, it came in second because it got topped out by another dish because it was missing salt. With a tiny pinch of salt, a little more salt on that thing would have absolutely popped and crushed everything. But when somebody else executed something that was a 10 and this was a 9.8,
so
there's nothing I can do. I mean, it's functionally a perfect dish, almost a perfect dish, but it's just missing one element where I have to knock off just a tiny bit because technically it needed it.
So this is
it was hard.
This is a perfect segue to something that I've been wanting to touch on.
Oh?
This is very important. This is one of the most important things that you can hear as a judge. Are you ready?
We're ready.
This goes right along with what Brandon D just said. You have a job to do whenever you judge, right? We just talked about getting that box in front of you. It's a 10. You open that box and you judge everything that's going on. Okay? We're not comparing, correct?
No.
Nope.
Listen closely. It is none of your damn business who wins. I'm going to say that again because y'all not with me.
Please say it.
It is none of your damn business who wins this competition. It's not your business.
Nope.
It's not your business. Your business is to judge this box in front of you. Because here's what happens. And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to go ahead and elaborate real quick. Okay? Just stay with me, y'all. You're judging this box. And it's the best thing you tasted all day. Ooh. God damn it. This thing is amazing. It's the best thing I've ever had in my life. It's a 10. It's a 10 in presentation. It's a 10 in taste. It's a 10 across the board. It's a 10 overall. It's a 10 in smell.
Dang.
It's a 10. So today it's a 10. Yesterday it's a 10 tomorrow. You understand what I'm trying to tell you?
So you're saying it's a 10.
It's a damn 10. It might be an 11.
No.
Okay. It might be an 11. When you taste something like that, you want that dish to win so damn bad because it tastes so good. And you're thinking about the person that's judging next to you. You're thinking about the person that's judging to your left. Like, oh man, look, this is good. I hope y'all, I hope this dish wins. And then you're getting other dishes and it's not tasting as good. It's not tasting as good as that box number 2, right? It's none of your business. You already did your job. You gave that box what it deserved. Your job is done. It's none of your damn business.
Right. And I look, man, like
it's not your job.
It is.
It's true.
I mean, to be honest with you, I honestly wanted that pinch of summer. I wanted that to win. I really did. I wanted that to win because I said this is such a great dish. This is so creative. And there was a lot of good lessons in that one. That's just such creative. But I said I have to be fair, and I have to judge on execution. And when you miss on salt a little bit, just a little bit of salt, I mean, it's like, man, this is like. But that's the thing that's going to come down to. Another thing we had is we had that crab cake sandwich. Remember with that crab cake sandwich we had?
Yeah.
And she put it on a bagel. And I was like, and I tasted it. The crab cake was delicious. The toppings was delicious. The sauce was amazing. The bread, oh man, it was just too dense.
Way too dense.
I actually went talk to the person who made it, and just said, "What did you make?" And she said, "I made the crab sandwich, the bagel." I said, "I'm going to tell you what's wrong. I'll tell you why it didn't score." I said, "Your bread was too dense. The texture of the bread conflicted too much with the crab cake. If you would have put that on just a regular, you'd have put that on some toasted Evangeline made, you probably would have won."
Slaughtered.
I mean, because the crab cake was that good. The flavors were outstanding. Everything was seasoned perfectly, but that bread was so tight and dense. It did. And that bagel could have been good for another sandwich, but not that sandwich.
Everything was delicate.
Everything was so good.
She took a risk.
Everything was so good and delicate and perfectly balanced and everything. And that bread was on.
Yes.
That bread was on strong. That bread was strong.
Oh, man, it was on something, dude. It was on. That bread had taken his protein powder that morning, dude. It was on creatine, maybe a little bit of juice. It was strong. It was very. They just didn't match. Yeah. And when other people make stuff that's more cohesive, I have to take points off for that bread. Love the crab cake. I even wrote a comment. I said this crab cake is delicious.
It was.
This bread does not match the texture.
If she would have even done an open face bagel, that probably would have been
might have been a little bit better. You could get into it without. It was very hard to bite in.
You'd have to cut it.
I think we all three eventually cut the bagel. That's what we did.
I know. I had to get in there because it was just too much. It was just too strong. Like it was that bread. That bread was like some. Yeah, some juggernauts.
I've never heard a bread described as too strong.
It was awesome. like my son Braxton said, that thing was double arm, baby. That thing was.
Yeah, that was like some Lou Ferrigno bread, dude. That stuff was like Hulk bread. You understand? It was strong, dude.
Oh yeah,
but you know. I appreciate the risk. I really do. I appreciate it. But if that thing had been on a potato bun, it would have absolutely slayed everything else in the thing. It would have crushed it.
That bread was too strong, yo.
If it was on a potato bun, it would have smoked everything, man. Yeah.
Oh my God.
It was some Arnold Schwarzenegger bread. It was really, it had a lot of body,
It's okay. It's okay. Everything else was good, boo. If you're listening to this, it was amazing. Yes.
That crab cake was so good. That was probably the one dish I saved and ate that crab cake. Everything else I didn't care about. I ate
the crab cake on like some sauce and just served the crab cake to y'all.
Yep.
Oh,
but no,
execution.
They had a lot of really good food at that competition. They really did. A lot of people did a great job.
Very surprised. Very pleasantly
impressed.
Impressed. Yeah, that's a great word.
I was impressed with the creativity was there, the technique was there, the cook was there. Everybody was really, really knocking out some good food. So I didn't taste. Hey, look, guys, I didn't taste anything that was under a 7.
Nope.
That was it.
Hashtag not a 1.
Not a one. God, oh God, it's nothing. No, look. Like I said before, we're gonna say this again. If it's that bad, just hit somebody with a DQ.
Yeah, it's
disqualified.
Yeah.
Well,
something has to be.
Let's go ahead and give Rusty his props. because we've been talking about this. We all know that Rusty is the king,
Goat.
Of Holly Beach.
Of Holly Beach. He's on the throne.
He's the patron saint of Holly Beach.
Yeah, he won that competition hands
he
down.
executed.
He won almost every category, but
he executed very well.
Rusty has earned his title. You earned your title, stepdaddy.
Yeah, he
can cook. He can cook.
The guy's got the touch, man. He's very creative, and he does a good job. And guess what? That stuff is executed, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's always executed.
What?
I haven't tasted much of his stuff he's missed on.
What he said? Hashtag Pinterest bitch.
Yeah.
But yeah, and let me wrap this up right here too, just to talk about him, not to put him on a pedestal, but he's a great example of what it takes to win too when it comes to cook team responsibility. He understands what he cooks so much that he understands what the judges needs, what the judges want. He knows how to execute. He knows how to balance flavors. Whether you like his food or whether you think his food is, mediocre, whatever the case is, his food is good and is good enough to win all the damn time.
Yeah.
He knows how to pull it off. So it's one of those things where if you're a cook team, if you're going to dedicate yourself to this, if you're going to dedicate your time, your money, your effort, your blood, your sweat, your tears, okay, then you need to go all the way. You need to do the type of things that he's doing in order to get those trophies. Yeah, that's your responsibility as a cook team, right?
He goes the extra mile, guys.
Yeah,
he goes the extra mile. Don't get it twisted. He's not. There's not shortcuts.
No.
When he's making stuff, hey, look, this is another great example because guess what he made that I absolutely freaking hate. I don't like Bloody Marys at all.
Yep.
And that was his appetizer, was a Bloody Mary. And I don't like Bloody Marys. I can't stand Bloody Marys. I'll never drink a Bloody Mary in my life. I don't like them. I'm not trying to cure a wine hangover. I don't need a Bloody Mary. So Bloody Marys are for like old biddies who trying to get over their wine hangover at lunch. I don't care. That salt makes you feel good. Salt and the alcohol makes you feel good, perks you up a bit, get some electrolytes in you. But I don't like Bloody Marys. But when I tasted Rusty's Bloody Mary, I had to judge it for what it was. It's a Bloody Mary. What do the people expect out of the Bloody Mary? You expect good flavor, a balance, a little bit of spice, and that's how I judged it. I said, this tastes like what a Bloody Mary should taste like if I like them. I don't like them at all. But guess what? As a Bloody Mary, it was a 10.
Yeah.
I don't like Bloody Marys either.
A 10
We were 2/3 of the judges.
Precisely.
And he ended up winning that with the Bloody Mary. And Brandon D don't like Bloody Marys. I don't like Bloody Marys either. I don't drink them. But it was good. Like it was, I don't.
Yeah.
It was what a Bloody Mary should be. And technically, I've tasted Bloody Marys, and I've tasted bad ones, and I've tasted good ones. That was a really good one.
This is an excellent example of judging something for what it is, not based on your palate bias or whether you like something or not or whatever. This is an excellent opportunity. So an excellent example, not opportunity, but an opportunity to learn nonetheless. So
yes,
so absolutely.
So I
vary expectations and preferences.
So I have a question for the both of you. If you were to give someone your best piece of advice for judging a competition, what would it be?
Great question. I'll start off. I will say exactly what I said earlier. It is none of your business who wins. because that gets you in the mindset of not comparing. Right? If I know my job, we all have jobs.
Yeah.
The job of the person tallying the scores figures out who wins. Because I'm not a one person judge panel. We have 3, 5, 7, sometimes 9 maybe judges.
Right.
It's not my business who wins. That's not my job. My job is to judge this box for what it is.
That's what you're there for. Yep.
So my piece of advice is mind your damn business.
Right.
Brandon,
my thing is like keep an open mind. Mm-hmm. Pay attention to the details. The details are what's going to matter. But keeping an open mind, details, and just and really bury your preferences.
Yeah.
Put on your big girl, big boy pants and say, I might have to eat something I don't really care for. If you're allergic to, if you have allergies or something like that, it might not be the good thing to do.
No.
But bury your preferences and taste it for what it is.
Yeah.
I don't like Bloody Marys. I don't care. I just don't like them. It's not my thing. I just had to judge it for what a Bloody Mary should be. I know what a Bloody Mary should be. So I use that as my standard.
Yeah.
What should it be? I said, is this something people who like Bloody Marys, is this something that they would like?
Yeah.
That was my thought on it. So keep an open mind. And for my advice for judges is go out and if you want to learn how to judge food, go out and start tasting different things. Branch out into different foods. Go taste some Asian food. Go taste some Indian food. Go taste some different type of European foods if you can find them. A lot of things. If the advantage of me living in Houston is I can try all these things. I want to say, man, I want to go to a traditional blank restaurant. I can do that and find out what they and then do your research. Understand what people use and how different things are supposed to be cooked and different flavor profiles that different countries may use and different cultures will use. And you'll find that, hey, look, there's a lot of overlap. There's a lot of overlap in food. There's definitely a lot of overlap in European food. There's overlap in Middle Eastern food to Indian food, Middle Eastern food to African food to Europe. There's overlap in all this stuff.
Awesome. So if I were to give someone advice before going into a judging competition, I would definitely say start every box at a 10. That comes to you, it's a 10. And count down. Don't try to add your score. It's easier to subtract points than it is, to me, to add it up when you're doing these types of things. So you're not giving points, you're taking points away. And that makes things a lot easier when you're trying to judge something. So instead of saying, this is a 7 and you have nothing to base that on, right? You started at 10 and you take off, okay, was this executed properly or not? And you go down the list, like depending on what the judging criteria is for that specific competition, you judge it that way. Does it meet this? If not, you deduct however many points you think, like a half a point. I like to do half points. The people that count my scores at the end are always fussing because I have the half points, but I like to give people the respect and not take away whole points because those things matter. So
there's a difference between a 9.5 and a 9, right? I think there is.
I'm not doing a 9.8. Mm-hmm. I'm not doing a 8.7. I'm not doing that. I'm just doing half points. So, but that's my advice to any future judge. Yeah. Count down from a 10. Starts at a 10. The box is perfect until you open it and you go from there. That helped me out tremendously when I was judging the first time.
It does. It's so much easier. And those points, guys, are the details.
Yep.
So that's the details. That's the things that knock you off.
Judge with your senses. So anyways, so you guys, this was a great episode. Welcome back. And I think this went really well.
Yeah. Well, keep stirring that pot,
Yes, we're going to keep stirring it. So with that being said, I have a little quote as usual for us. It doesn't have who said it, so I'll just say I said it.
Hey.
So here we go. Real cooking is more about following your heart than it is about following recipes a lot of the time.
I'll agree with that.
That's right.
With that being said, I want to thank everyone who has tuned in to watch us, and thank you for sticking with us throughout this journey. And, until next time, you guys. Y'all keep stirring that pot. Peace.
Later.
Hashtag strong bread. Peace.